Now that the quest is over, you're free to leave the merchant's building and explore the village of Tabin itself. Click the Travel to New Area button and select the initial hashtag. Merchant Entrance, adjacent map north option to step out into the village and continue the campaign. You've returned to the now familiar merchant store entryway. The southern door here will take you to the merchant himself, while the northern door will take you back out into Tabin. Travel alert, using the unlocked door, you travel north, taking a few moments to arrive. You and Rachel now stand just outside the front door to the merchant, the village of Tabin before you to the north and west. However, one of your fellow guild students, Hyojone, a rival of yours and bully within Tabin for as long as you can remember, stands before you, his anger and impatience quite obvious as he waits to talk to you. It's about time. Hyojone begins, looking you over as if he'd like nothing more than to pick a fight with you right here and now. You should have been back hours ago. Janet had something to take care of, Rachel interjects, matching Hyojone's scorn with some of her own. You should show some respect. Piss off, Rachel. Hyojone responds, in no mood to argue and keeping his eyes locked solely on you. What took you so damn long anyway? Choose an option. I helped out a new friend. I saved a damsel in distress. None of your business. You briefly explain to Hyojone how you helped Rachel take care of the rat infestation down in her father's large cellar the past few hours. Rachel nods a few times and gently smiles, agreeing with everything you say. Whatever. Hyojone responds, his mind on something else. You're supposed to report to the Sislan temple. Something about meeting with Healerpriest Bestor, it's official business and all. Unreasonably angry, Hyojone's words are slurred and disjointed. Let's do an empathy check to see if you recognize anything further. Needing a 12 or less from Janet, a 15 was rolled. Failure. Yes, you know what's really going on. You're being assigned an official quest on behalf of the local guild, a quest Hyojone would have received if he weren't currently on probation. But he's always getting into trouble, so it's certainly not your fault. What does the Sislan way want with the guild? Rachel asks, surprisingly curious about the new quest. Don't know and don't care. Hyojone responds, turning to leave. I am no messenger flunky, just come back to the guild now. And with that, Hyojone turns and marches away north, the guild itself located due north just 15 or so minutes away, area number 3 on your map. It's clear you must return to the guild now. Question is, should you allow Rachel to come as well? Choose an option, ask Rachel to follow, tell Rachel to stay behind. So, Rachel. Want to tag along? I said we make a great team, by all means. The human thief responds, intrigued by the impending quest. Let's go. You nod affirmatively. Rachel is quickly growing on you and you will likely need a trusted ally anyway. Quite curious about what the guild master has to say, the two of you then head north. Stepping back into this older yet immensely strong building, all the familiar sights, sounds and even smells come rushing back, as if you had just left, which, of course, you did earlier in the day. For the past year, you've honed your skills as an adventurer here, learning how to fight, barter, negotiate, and everything else that helps a hero succeed. Now that you're back, and even the leader of a small party, you're interested in speaking with the guild master as quickly as possible. Amidst the ordinary bustle of the guild, you're surprised when you turn a corner and standing there is the guild master himself. About to say something, the old sage frowns a bit at the sight of Rachel. And who is this young lass? The guild master asks, apparently not too pleased. I am Rachel, the merchant's my father. Yes, I know who you are, the guild master responds, distrusting your new party recruit. I am sure you realize you're not welcome here. You're surprised, of course, by the reaction of the guild master. Something's amiss. Let's do a diplomacy check on your hero to see if you can find the right words to smooth things over. Needing a 11 or less from Janet, a 2 was rolled. Success, you sent me to the merchant to equip myself, and together we took care of a rat infestation in the cellar. We worked well together, I think she can be trusted. Perhaps impressed, the guildmaster gives Rachel one more look before turning back to you again. Go at once to the Sislan temple, and speak to Supreme Healerpriest Bestor. I believe he has a matter that warrants our immediate attention. Your rival Hyojone was right, you are being assigned a new quest on behalf of the guild. How do you respond? Choose an option. Are you sure I'm ready? He wants to talk to me. Sounds important. Yes, quite, I believe, the guildmaster responds, his serious glare keeping your initial enthusiasm in check. You'll be representing all of us here at the guild, so I expect nothing but your best. Your marching orders clear, you turn to lead Rachel out of the guild, the Sislan temple on the western side of Tabin, your required destination. As you turn, however, you hear an ominous whisper, the guildmaster leaving you with some final advice. Be careful with this thief you've befriended, Janet. She's not to be trusted. That didn't sound good. Let's do a wisdom check on your hero and see how you respond. Needing a 14 or less from Janet, a 20 was rolled. Failure. GM note, your quest log has been updated. Click the quests button for all the details. While you've come to trust and respect the guildmaster almost without question, Rachel already seems quite trustworthy, so you promptly dismiss his warning. What does he know anyway? What's Hyojone's problem? Rachel asks, nodding toward Hyojone again in the far corner watching you leave, his look of anger and resentment even worse than before. He's just sulking, you respond as you depart the building. He's been here a full season longer than me, so I suppose this really should be his quest. But it's his own fault, with all the trouble he gets himself in. Let's go. Travel alert, using the road, you travel east, taking 5 minutes to arrive. If looks could kill, Hyojone would have just slain you, so you're sort of glad to be exiting the guild as quickly as possible. While nothing fancy, the hostel here seems warm and cozy, a fine place to spend the night and enjoy a good breakfast in the morning. Like other establishments within Tabin, this place is in the process of being decorated as well, preparing for the arrival of someone very important. As the two of you enter, however, you recognize a bit of a commotion coming from the main desk where a very old woman is arguing with two younger girls. We're sorry, Madam Isuda, but we've been ordered to the village park immediately to help with the preparations. One of the younger women explains. We have to go. But the representative's room still needs a good cleaning. The old woman responds, desperation in her tired eyes. Who will I get to do that at a time like this? You must stay and help. Although remorseful, the two girls shake their heads and dart away, leaving Madam Isuda in a real bind. As you and Rachel approach, the elderly woman looks at you and makes you a sudden offer, taking you quite by surprise. I beseech you. The whole town has gone crazy with the representative's arrival and I find myself without anyone to prepare her room. Just an hour of your time is all I need, please, help me. Sometimes, being a hero isn't about rescuing princesses or slaying dragons. It's about being in the right place at the right time, and being willing to do the right thing. Will you help? Choose an option. Yes, get me a mop and bucket. No, that is a little beneath me. Oh, thank you, thank you. Madam Isuda shouts, her appreciation obvious. The representative and her entourage will occupy the entire upstairs. Most of the rooms are already done, just scrub the floor of the main suite and change the linens. When you're done, let me know and I will offer you a special gift. Rachel rolls her eyes, almost shocked that you'd accept such a menial task. You acknowledge the woman's instructions, however, and go upstairs, quickly finding the resources you will need to best prepare the bedchamber. Of course, the whole experience feels awkward. Let's do an altruism check on your hero and see how well you do with the chores. Needing a 12 or less from Janet, a 6 was rolled. Success, the cleaning is no fun, but given the importance of the activity you truly give of yourself, spending over 2 hours to make sure the room is immaculate for the coming inner circle representative. Madam Isuda is pleased with the result and you earn some experience points for being such a good sport about it. Each hero earns 25 experience points. Returning to the main desk, Madam Isuda rejoins you minutes later carrying a small pouch, your apparent reward. Thank you again, Janet. Another hero left a small sack here years ago, I want you to have it. She hands you a small gray sack lying atop her desk. Inside are a few gold coins and 3 potions of healing, which you then secure into your inventory. Nice. Madam Isuda smiles again and wishes you well, content that a real adventurer helped her out in her time of need. Gold. Each hero receives 4 gold pieces. If you're looking to spend a night at the hostel to rest and recover, there is a single room available at the cost of 20 copper pieces. Travel alert, using the road, you travel southeast, taking 5 minutes to arrive. The road here travels east to west, east into the wide prairie and marshland leading toward Kathleen about 4 days away and west into the village of Tabin. If you're planning to head toward Kathleen, you should think about food and water. A stone marker rests here if you wish to take a look. The simple stone marker here welcomes everyone traveling west into the humble village of Tabin, population several hundred, mostly human. It's a marker you've seen many times, but you've never been east past this point. The road leads away from Tabin to the east and back into Tabin to the west. Of course, you still have a quest to complete here in Tabin, so the road east isn't available for now. Travel alert, using the road, you travel west, taking 20 minutes to arrive. You enter the only decent tavern of the village, its atmosphere dark and smoky but otherwise peaceful. A variety of patrons are having a good time as they are served by 2 waitresses. You can enjoy a decent meal here, and perhaps even hear a rumor or two, for 2 silver pieces. GM note, Janet lost 1 electrum piece. Your waitress collects your payment, shows you to a larger table within the tavern and soon brings plenty of food and drink to enjoy. You spend the next hour or so filling your belly and generally relaxing. Having had your fill, you can now listen attentively for rumors midst the din of dozens of soft conversations around you. Just click the Listen for Rumors option button to spend the next hour hoping to hear something of value. An hour passes, during which you hear something intriguing. While the Sislan Way had discovered at least a temporary cure against the fear several years ago, Tabin has only recently been able to receive the life-sustaining fluid. The antidote is given freely by the church, but a substantial donation is expected. An hour passes, during which you hear something intriguing. A wizard of the continent governing Inner Circle is said to be planning a trip through Tabin shortly. While the church dominates the lands around Tabin and isn't keen about the visit, the circle representative will be ceremoniously honored when he or she arrives. Travel alert, using the road, you travel west, taking 5 minutes to arrive, roughly marking the center of Tabin. This outdoor location holds the village public well and is thus the primary source of water for most within town, and subsequently an informal meeting area. Indeed, a variety of townspeople are here, talking amongst themselves, bringing water to the surface and generally enjoying one another's company. At the moment, the area is also surprisingly decorated. While you've passed by the village center countless times in the past, the people, bustle, and intrigue within the area is very different right now, as several folks stand or affix additional decorations throughout the immediate vicinity. It feels good to mingle with the crowd again, as you've spent your last year basically cooped up within the village guild and cut off from the town's population. Feel free to start a conversation with anyone here to learn more. You quickly spot an acquaintance of yours, a young human woman named Rosamund. She is particularly excited. An actual representative of the inner circle is due to pass through Tabin shortly. Rosamund notes that the last representative to pass through Tabin did so more than 40 years ago, so it's a very rare event. You and Rosamund talk for several minutes about the coming of the representative and all the buzz within Tabin. Let's do a curiosity check on your hero to see how well you paid attention to the conversation, and whether you learned anything useful. Needing a 13 or less from Janet, a 9 was rolled. Success. GM note, your quest log has been updated. Click the quests button for all the details. You learn that the name of the inner circle representative who is passing through is Margaret, and that she represents the country of Kiz, said to be the very birthplace of Sisla the Deliverer 1000 years ago, and still a sanctuary for goodly creatures. It sounds like Kiz may be a nice place to visit one day. Your conversation with Rosamund ends, the last rejoining the others in the village preparations. Standing at the well, it occurs to you that this may be a good opportunity to take a drink yourself and perhaps even fill a few of your water skins for any short treks into the wilderness you may want to take. Of course, you will need to work the well in some way in order to actually draw the water up and quench your thirst. The rope and pulley system integrated into the well to pull water up is easy to use, and within a few minutes your thirst is not only quenched but both you and your companion have 5 days worth of water stored in your water skins as well, now packed away. You continue to stand in the near center of town, the road leading east toward the capital city of Kathleen about 4 days march away, as well as south out of Tabin. A townsperson occasionally passes by to either use the village well or simply continue on their way. Travel alert, using the road, you travel south, taking 15 minutes to arrive. This smaller shop seems to contain just about every type of stone, crystal, and rock imaginable, so if you're looking to buy or sell a few gems or jewelry, you've come to the right place. The transaction is completed quickly and little is said. The jeweler is definitely not interested in small talk. You turn away from the jeweler and accidentally drop your purse. Bending down to pick it up, you see what appears to be a single amethyst lying on the floor just out of sight from the jeweler. She likely does not know it's there. What do? Choose an option: ignore the amethyst, return the amethyst, steal the amethyst. The party's reputation score permanently increases by 1 point. That's very honest of you. The jeweler comments as you return the supposedly lost amethyst to her. It's not worth much, but I leave it down there to test the scruples of my customers. It's rare that someone actually returns the jewel to me. I will pass along that you're an honest hero. The jeweler hero waits for you to buy and sell more gems and jewelry. Travel alert, using the road, you travel west, taking 20 minutes to arrive. This wide open space can fit hundreds of people within, which likely will be the case once the inner circle representative arrives. In preparation for that arrival, a variety of townspeople are busy decorating the park here, most of them working on a large sign that, at the moment, reads "Welcome Representative Mar." Clearly the sign isn't complete yet. While the atmosphere is festive, there is really not much to do here. You can tell that a makeshift gravel road has been laid down along the far eastern edge of the park so that the circle representative's carriage and wagon escorts can easily reach from the road. Rows of wooden bleachers have also been erected so many of the townspeople can stand and see the upcoming spectacle. Rachel seems antsy, as there is little to do here at the park. You should probably move along. Travel alert, using the road, you travel northeast, taking 20 minutes to arrive, likely the second most important building within Tabin, after the Sislan Temple. This location is the site of your town's local government where laws are passed, criminals are prosecuted and important social events are held. Indeed, the place is quite busy at the moment as the village elders coordinate with a small team of volunteers to prepare for the arrival of someone very important. You spot a bulletin board in the near corner of the building, an object that can catch you up on local events here in Tabin. While filled with a variety of local news, official notices and some advertisements, most of the information is mundane and not of much interest. Of course, the big news is the coming of the inner circle representative from Kiz, a truistic named Margaret. She's the reason for all the bustle within the village recently. Looking about, everyone here looks quite busy. However, you do spot an older man across the room sitting at a desk watching everyone else. You don't recognize him as a village elder, but perhaps he can tell you a little more. As you step forward, you catch Rachel staring at him in an awkward way. Let's do a reason check to see if you notice anything further. Needing a 11 or less from Janet, a 16 was rolled. Failure. While you do catch Rachel looking away and sense perhaps some discomfort from her, it does not really seem out of the ordinary. So, no reason to worry. Waiting for an opportune moment, you soon introduce yourself to the man, explaining that you've just become a new adventurer and that you're curious about the coming circle representative. You can call me Darius, begins the mysterious man, someone you wouldn't have guessed had recently become a village elder. Equally strange, you smell a whiff of something rancid. Darius has horrible breath. It's so bad, in fact, that let's do an empathy check on your hero to see how you react to it. Needing a 12 or less from Janet, a 16 was rolled. Failure. For a moment you instinctively turn away, appalled by the elder's bad breath. Darius recognizes why and comments. Please excuse my condition. It's something I can't help. The situation suddenly awkward, you nod your head and sheepishly ask Darius to continue. I joined the elders a season ago just to coordinate this visit by the circle, Darius continues. She will be here shortly and it's my job to ensure that nothing goes wrong. I am busy but I will make time for one question. What do you want to know? Choose an option. Anything else new in Tabin? Where did you come from? Why is the circle member coming? Darius considers your question for a long moment before responding. Officially, she's just passing through, she couldn't care less about Tabin specifically. But she will soon learn all about this quaint little town, soon, the entire circle will know about it. You notice a slight grin from Darius and you feel like something isn't quite right. In fact, let's have your hero roll a saving throw versus spells and we will see what happens. Needing a 15 or greater to save against spells, a 4 was rolled. Failure. You are suddenly overwhelmed with trust and respect for Darius, as if he is now your best friend in the world, and you're thankful he has come to Tabin to become a village elder and ensure that the inner circle representative's visit will be a safe and secure one. You're surprised by the sudden flood of emotion but it feels very real. Now, I have pressing matters to attend to, Darius remarks as he stands before you, about to depart. Nice chat. I suspect we will meet again soon. Darius grins again, clearly knowing more than he's sharing with you. The smelly man then steps away and melts into the crowd beyond, leaving you to ponder. The town hall remains busy with activity, but there is little left for you to do here, it's time to move on. Travel alert, using the road, you travel north, taking 10 minutes to arrive. The two of you now stand just outside the Sislan Temple, a tall, white, opulent building that is the grandest and most revered within all of Tabin. A single large doorway dominates its southern wall, while a variety of stained glass windows adorn each side of the building. Like all Sislan temples everywhere, this one is open and inviting. I can't say this is my favorite place in Tabin, Rachel admits, looking about. Are you into all this Sisla stuff? Essentially, Rachel is asking how religious your hero is. So you're aware, nearly every human within Sisla is deeply religious, believing that Sisla the Deliverer long ago became a divine goddess who continues to watch over everything today. Remember, we're just role-playing here, so your character can be as religious, or not as you wish, it's totally up to you. How does your hero feel about the idea of Sisla as a great goddess watching over all? Choose an option. Meh, not really sure, not my thing, totally a believer. While most of humanity within Mariga passionately believes that Sisla the Deliverer not only ended the age of damnation nearly 1,000 years ago but eventually became a supreme goddess upon her attainment, you're not one of them and you're not so sure she's somehow watching over everyone with presumed great strength and wisdom. Again, most of Mariga is deeply religious, however, so it's something your hero must deal with. The Sislan Temple continues to stand here, still the most important building in Tabin, and you're welcome to enter. Janet lost 2 gold pieces. In return, she is fully healed. The Sislan Temple continues to stand here, still the most important building in Tabin, and you're welcome to enter. Travel alert, using the doorway, you travel north, taking a minute to arrive, entering the wondrous construction. The church is the largest and most prestigious building within Tabin, and even though you've been here before, it's always an impressive sight. Beyond the entrance chamber to the north, a variety of shimmering tapestries depicting the history of Sisla adorn the western, northern, and eastern walls, while a splendid altar dominates the chamber ahead of you. Supreme Healerpriest Bestor himself stands 20 feet from you to the north, motioning for you to approach. Strangely, a large conifer dominates the entry chamber here, standing between you and the main temple beyond, its pine scent strong yet soothing. The pine tree is quite full, grown in this very spot over many years and carefully pruned. The smell of the tree is almost overwhelming and you can't help but breathe in its scent. There is probably a reason why the tree is even here. Let's do a party intelligence check to see if you know anything more. Needing a 12 or less from your heroes, a 20 was rolled. Failure, no, neither of you are aware of what is going on with the tree. But whatever it is, the scent of the needles calms your senses and you feel strangely at peace here. The Supreme Healerpriest awaits guests to the north, while a doorway to the south opens into the village of Tabin. You can also visit any of the 6 large tapestries hanging from the walls to the west, north and east to learn more about the full history of Mariga. A quick search finds that the old bookshelf has one scroll of Cure Light Wounds. Janet nods and takes the scroll of Cure Light Wounds. Travel alert, using the doorway, you travel north, taking a minute to arrive. The wooden pews here are all arranged in a rough semicircle around the altar and pulpit to the north, while the white walls of this splendid building are covered with a variety of rich tapestries, 6 in all, depicting the general history of Sisla. Looking up, the ceiling has been carefully painted to appear as a wondrous rainbow crossing the sky. At this point, let's have your character do a spirit check to see how you handle all the impressive sights around you. Needing a 13 or less from Janet, a 12 was rolled. Success, as you'd expect, the Sislan Church isn't just a holy place but one that renews your spirit as well, a place where, if everything else seems dark and depressing, you can always come for warmth and light as well as salvation. Waiting for you in the main aisle amongst all the wooden pews is Supreme Healerpriest Bestor, an older yet physically strong and somewhat intimidating holy man who seems to always be dour even in the best of times. You're well aware of who he is, and the political power he wields here in Tabin, but this is the first time he's ever asked to meet you by name. Salutations, Janet. The priest exclaims, softly tapping his chest twice and then holding out the right palm of his hand as he welcomes you. You've come to answer the call of the great goddess Sisla, who guides and protects us all. I am curious, which of Sisla's loving attributes do you think best represents yourself as a new hero of Tabin? Choose an option: altruism, helping others first; empathy, feeling pain of others; optimism, always having a smile. Of course, Sisla's willingness to give completely of herself, materialistically, physically as well as spiritually, Bestor replies, quite in agreement. In turn, millions of the devoted gave all of themselves back to Sisla, and through that power she was able to end the age of damnation and save us all. Yes, you will need to demonstrate your own altruism in order to help us with the problem at hand. Problem at hand? You ask, a mix of excitement and concern. What's wrong? Bestor frowns even more and looks to you as if to judge you for a serious crime. Are you aware of what is called the fear? Choose an option: yes, I believe so; no, not really. The fear is a curse laid upon every adult human throughout all of Sisalus. It typically begins right around your age. You start to hear voices in your head, then, slowly, over time, the voices become louder and more horrible, as if the souls of the damned are calling out for you. If left unchecked, the screaming becomes so loud and terrifying that only those with the utmost courage and stamina can hope to survive untreated. The explanation is shocking. Humanity throughout the world certainly sees itself as superior to all other races and creatures. Yet, apparently, being human can also be maddening and even lethal now. Healerpriest Bestor continues. The fear is a relatively recent phenomenon, going back just a few decades. Nobody knows how it got started and there is no permanent cure. If you're a human being, at some point you will likely succumb to this wretched curse. Choose an option: what's the average lifespan once afflicted? Where did the fear start? Who's at fault for the fear? The priest shakes his head, his response unwelcome. The official church position is that the curse are the undying memories of those reborn over the centuries, becoming wizards to sit upon that wretched inner circle and unjustly rule over Sisalus. It's almost assured that the fear is magical in nature, and the circle wizards have, over time, become utterly selfish and corrupt. It's the only logical explanation to the plight. The deep frown softens as the head cleric of Tabin withdraws a small vial of liquid from a concealed pocket, its brownish contents glowing softly with an inner white light. But Sisla showed her faithful the way, helping us develop an antidote that temporarily blocks the effects of the fear. Consuming this holy liquid can keep the screams at bay for weeks and weeks, sometimes for an entire season. To those afflicted, the Sislan antidote is critical to a healthy survival. Choose an option: how does the inner circle help? Thank Sisla for the antidote. Where do you get the antidote? Bestor responds, a little surprised. Virtually every temple and church to Sisla throughout Mariga makes it available to anyone afflicted by the fear. We don't charge for the antidote, of course; we're only happy that we can make it available to all of Sisla's human children. The healer priest lowers the vial of liquid again, along with his head as he continues the conversation. However, there is a problem now that requires someone of your profession. Follow me. Bestor turns and steps to the altar nearly 50 feet away to the north. Clearly, he wants to show you something. Travel alert: using the path, you travel west, taking a minute to arrive. Dominating the western wall here is a tall and opulent tapestry, so perfectly woven that you suspect it may be magical. The scene within the tapestry depicts a fiery cataclysm, as if all the denizens of the world were being set afire. The event summarizes the extinction, an utter catastrophe that destroyed the godlike beings of Sisalus thousands upon thousands of years ago. While horrifying and unbearably sad, your understanding is that these powerful beings deserved their destruction as punishment for their arrogant, selfish, and technology-centric ways. Choose an option: Be indifferent to it all. No culture deserves annihilation, their punishment was just. Of course. No sentient race, especially those that are almost godlike in intelligence and achievement, deserves extinction. Such beings can always be saved, they just need to be shown the proper way. Clearly the tapestry upsets you. After all, if it happened to a great race of humanoids long ago, who's to say it can't happen again in this day and age? As you further study the tapestry, you begin to hear a very distant echo, as if the sounds of the catastrophe are now faintly audible from all around. At this point the artwork before you has become quite vivid, even disturbing, and you're not sure you want to continue looking at it. Now almost communicating directly to you, the images and scenery locked within the tapestry speak to you deeply, as if you are amongst the damned portrayed and experiencing your last few terrible moments alive. The shock and horror these beings must have felt as the end suddenly came must have been truly horrible, and soon you turn away from the tapestry to break the object's hold on you. For better or worse, you're now familiar with the extinction tapestry. There are additional tapestries located along the walls of the temple to review as well if you're interested. Travel alert, using the path, you travel north, taking a minute to arrive. It takes a few moments, but you recognize from the tapestry that the first humans to spread out across the continent of Mariga saw themselves as superior to all other creatures, especially their humanoid brethren, the dwarves, elves, and halflings. Indeed, these races were seen as feral, not just inferior to humanity but actual vermin that were competing for the same resources as the humans. Ultimately, the dwarves, elves and halflings had to be put in their place and much blood was spilled in the name of manifest destiny. What do you think? Does a culture have the right to displace and even harm others to get what it wants? Choose an option. Can't we all just get along? History favors the victorious, only the strong survive. Yes, it does seem that when cultures clash, those who emerge as the victor record associated events from their own biased point of view. Hence, history is written in a way that not only favors the bias but apologizes for it or even justifies it as well. In this case, it was humanity that eventually defeated the dwarves, elves, and halflings, subjugating them for 3 full centuries, the time of servitude. There are certainly additional details embedded within the tapestry should you wish to learn a little more about it. Examining the tapestry a little further, you recognize that the defeated dwarven, elven, and halfling races are actually smiling as they act as servants to their human conquerors. Indeed, the images portray these enslaved peoples as content and even thankful for the opportunity to serve their masters. Of course, even the most secure animal still resents its cage. Most humanoids today recognize the time of servitude for the terrible time it was and they don't like to talk about it. Now that you're familiar with the time of servitude tapestry, try reviewing the others located along the walls of the temple to learn more about the history of Mariga. Travel alert, using the path, you travel northeast, taking a minute to arrive. The majestic tapestry before you is filled with dark-skinned elves surprising the armies of the humans and all but conquering them. Also known as the Drow, these sinister elves are not only cunning and well-disciplined but users of technique as well, and in a series of lightning attacks they overwhelm their human opponents. Worse, humanity had all but enslaved the dwarves, elves, and halflings, so they stood alone against the dark elf onslaught. The tapestry makes it clear the Drow caught the humans by surprise. What sort of lesson do you take from the tapestry? Choose an option. Allies are better than slaves, even the strong can be defeated, evil can lurk anywhere. Yes, had humanity allied themselves with the dwarves, elves, and halflings instead of essentially enslaving them during the preceding time of servitude, the humans would have been a much stronger force and the continent of Mariga would not have nearly fallen to the Drow. The human race would soon need to learn some humility and attempt to ally themselves with the other races if it were to have any hope of defeating the dark elvish guerrilla armies. You sense there is more to learn about the tapestry if you wish to study it more. In the shadows near the bottom of the tapestry, You notice several depictions suggesting that the human armies soon had no choice but to ask the dwarven, elven, and halfling populations to join them in the fight against the Dark Elves. Apparently, some sort of truce was struck, as the four races were eventually able to beat the Drow back and rescue most of Mariga from the enemy. Now that you're familiar with the Dark Elves tapestry, try reviewing the other tapestries located along the walls of the temple to learn more. Travel alert: using the path, you travel east, taking a minute to arrive. The tapestry here depicts a horrendous crack in the earth and the legions of hell itself spilling out to wage war. Studying the depictions carefully, it appears that the Dark Elves, after initially attacking humanity with a great deal of success, were suddenly on the verge of defeat. Rather than concede, the Drow instead unleashed the Hellions from the realm of nightmares, initiating a cataclysmic war known as the Age of Damnation that lasted nearly a full millennium. For now, I will answer one question about it. You will learn more as we play through the game. Choose an option. How did humanity survive? What are the Hellions? What is the realm of nightmares? Horrific monsters from the realm of nightmares. The Hellions are a mix of devils, demons, and other monstrosities that inhabit other planes of existence but are always looking to conquer and devastate new worlds as well. Released into Sislas by the Dark Elves as presumed allies, the Hellions all but eradicated the human, dwarven, elven and halfling races in a war that would last nearly 1,000 years. The Dark Tapestry remains terrible to behold. Of course, you can probably learn even more about it if you dare. Continuing to examine the terrifying tapestry a bit more, you wonder how the forces of good could have possibly survived against such evil for such a long period of time. For how broken society feels today, for all the anger and animosity between the inner circle and the Sislan way, for all the hardships and injustices you've personally experienced in your young life so far, it all pales in comparison to the pain, horror, and loss your predecessors experienced. All things considered, it's a miracle anyone is even alive today. Having uncomfortably acquainted yourself with the Age of Damnation tapestry, you're free to review the other tapestries hanging along the walls of the temple if you're interested. Travel alert: using the path, you travel southeast, taking a minute to arrive. The tapestry here is full of life and color and everything it means to be a true hero of the world. Sisla the Deliverer, now a supreme goddess who watches over all, originally became the first human to wield true magic nearly a millennium ago. Through her great strength, incredible power, and absolute convictions, Sisla helped the humanoid armies defeat and destroy the Hellions and close the breach to the realm of nightmares, ending the Age of Damnation and giving rise to what would become the Sislan Utopia. What do you think about the legend of Sisla? Choose an option. History is full of heroes. Likely a mix of truth and legend. Seems too good to be true. Yes, some would definitely say that any story as old as the coming of Sisla and her defeat of the Hellions to end the Age of Damnation is part truth, part legend, and part fiction, perhaps a lot of fiction. Sisla was clearly a powerful hero, but to have accomplished everything the legend suggests is probably beyond any one person's ability. Surely, she had a great deal of help. All put another way, who really knows what happened? The story of Sisla is indeed intriguing. There are additional details embedded within the tapestry should you wish to learn more. Continuing to scan the tapestry, you're suddenly surprised by an element that's missing: acknowledgement of the inner circle. To defeat the Hellions, Sisla created a small army of fellow magic users, and afterwards appointed those wizards to the very first inner circle so they could heroically guard and protect the continent of Mariga for all time. While the circle's ability to guard and protect today is up for debate, to not acknowledge the circle at all within the tapestry here is surprising, and perhaps a bit insulting. Now that you're familiar with the victories of Sisla tapestry, try reviewing the other tapestries located along the walls of the temple to learn more about Mariga. Travel alert: using the path, you travel south, taking a minute to arrive. This multicolored tapestry is absolutely beautiful to behold, full of light and energy and everything that makes one feel whole, proud, and secure. Although Sisla the Deliverer originally assigned the inner circle with the task of governing the human nations of Mariga just before her attainment, it only took a few centuries for the circle to take full advantage of its privilege and slide into corruption. The Sislan Way, dedicated to the safety and welfare of the people as well as the divinity of Sisla after her attainment, quickly rose in power and influence, today rivaling the power and authority of the circle itself, and hence becoming its primary adversary. The tapestry depicts the last few decades of church importance and success. For now, I will provide details regarding a single subject about the Sislan Way. You will certainly learn more as the story progresses. Choose an option: attainment and the afterlife, decline of the inner circle, rise of the Sislan Way. After defeating the Hellions of the Age of Damnation, banishing the Drow and establishing what would become the Sislan Utopia, Sisla the Deliverer was the first to reach attainment and was rewarded for her many accomplishments in life by becoming an immortal spirit after her passing. Today, followers of Sisla believe that by living a similarly honest, productive, and even heroic life, they, too, can be granted blissful immortality. Subsequently, reports of divine spirits roaming the countryside are not uncommon. Feel free to study the tapestry in additional detail and discover what else you may learn from it. It does not take long to notice that near the bottom of the tapestry there is imagery depicting humans besieged by horrific voices in their heads, today known as the fear. However, the Sislan Way has recently concocted an antidote to the deadly condition, a brownish liquid that, when consumed, temporarily alleviates the condition and causes the voices to subside. Most consider the antidote nothing short of miraculous, and the Church takes great pride in providing the substance to any human who requests it. Now that you're familiar with the rise of the church tapestry, try reviewing the other tapestries located along the walls of the temple if you're interested. Travel alert: using the path, you travel west, taking a minute to arrive, you stand within the center of the impressive building. Travel alert: using the path, you travel north, taking a minute to arrive, Supreme Healerpriest Bestor awaits your arrival near the altar, standing alongside an old and feeble man who is currently seated and softly moaning as if filled with abject terror. Indeed, the man's eyes are nearly shut, unwilling to look upon an entire church filled with imaginary monsters, and you can't help but feel very sorry for him. Let me show you something. There is a vial of antidote there on the altar. Please find it and hand it to me. The altar is full of a variety of religious items, and at first glance it appeared the finding of a small glass vial amongst it all would not be a trivial task. Beginning to feel Bestor's impatience growing, you thankfully spot the object, partially obscured under some old papers. Hint: use the Take Items button to select the antidote and add it to your inventory. GM note: click the Offer Use Items button and select a possession and quantity to resolve the situation. Janet nods and takes the vial of fear antidote. You locate the small potion, its contents murky brown that glows softly. The vial is also warm to the touch and you feel a sense of calmness, not unlike what you experienced when you passed by the evergreen marking the church entrance. This unfortunate soul was found south of Tabin this morning, Bestor continues, saddened. He's suffering terribly from the fear and will assuredly go insane if left untreated. Hand me the vial and let me show you something. Janet uses the vial of fear antidote and loses it from her inventory. You hand the vial to Bestor and the healer priest wastes little time in helping the man first sip from it and then drink heartedly, as if his subconscious actually recognizes the antidote he is receiving. It takes a few moments. The man then ceases with the wailing, his eyes open again and he looks around in a daze, drugged now but at least temporarily cured of the madness. There. You see, my child. The antidote works, at least for a while. This poor soul has been freed of his demons. Choose an option. Is this a trick? Sisla be praised. Utterly remarkable. Yes, and thanks Sisla. Bestor replies, trying to give credit where credit is supposedly due. Our antidote to the fear is very real. But there is a problem. Bestor comforts the old man and puts the empty vial back down before turning to face you. his eyes most serious. Sadly, that's the last of the antidote. There is a natural cave system just north of Tabin where my brethren toil to make all we need, but another shipment should have arrived 2 days ago and there has been no word. This isn't like my fellow priests and I fear something has happened. Rachel whispers in your ear that she knows exactly where the caves are. Sensing both concern but an opportunity as well, you encourage Healerpriest Bestor to continue. I want you to visit the caves and make sure everything is okay. I would go myself, but in case something afoul is going on, I wouldn't be able to deal with it. I know you've just graduated from the guild, but the guild master there speaks very highly of you and I see you already have a companion. Report back once you know more. It's your first guild-sanctioned quest. How do you respond? Choose an option, a quest. I accept. Maybe another time, what's in it for me? I appreciate your commitment and enthusiasm, Bestor smiles, a little surprised. As your GM, I say that's the spirit. Let's reward your response with some bonus experience. Each hero earns 25 experience points. Go to the caves, discover what is going on and bring me back proof of your visit as soon as possible, Bestor instructs, his voice a bit impatient. In return, the Sislan Way will reward you with 100 gold coins along with a few vials of the antidote should you want them. I will remain here within the church until you return. Choose an option. Anything else? GM note, your quest log has been updated. Click the quests button for all the details. The cave is only a few hours away but you may want to collect some supplies before you go. Be sure to rest up. And I am glad you have a companion. I am very concerned for my fellow priests and the area may be dangerous when you get there. Good luck, my child, and Sisla be with you. Supreme Healerpriest Bestor now awaits your return from the caves north of Tabin with something to prove you were actually there. Hence, you will need to give him something to further this quest. Travel alert, returning to the entrance chamber, you take 10 minutes to arrive. The Supreme Healerpriest awaits guests to the north, while a doorway to the south opens into the village of Tabin. You can also visit any of the 6 large tapestries. Travel alert, using the unlocked door, you travel south, taking a few moments to arrive. The Sislan Temple continues to stand here, still the most important building in Tabin, and you're welcome to enter. Travel alert, using the road, you travel east, taking 10 minutes to arrive. Reams of paper lie stacked everywhere, while a few clerics and magic users await your presence, ready to sell you whatever magical scrolls you may require. Travel alert, using the road, you travel northeast, taking 5 minutes to arrive. The shop here appears cluttered with all manner of containers, made mostly of glass and each containing some strange powder or liquid. An older wizard bids you welcome and inquires. Are you in need of a potion? The transaction commences and the alchemist here thanks you for your business. So, are you excited for the arrival of the inner circle representative? The wizard asks innocently, likely just trying to be polite. It will be nice to have some sensibility here in Tabin for a little while. The comment sounds like a criticism of the local church, given that the Sislans and the wizards of the inner circle essentially hate each other. How do you wish to respond? Choose an option. I am no fan of the circle, I am no fan of the church. What are you trying to say? Recognizing that you're apparently unwilling to state your allegiance, the alchemist lowers his head and looks away, apologizing for even making the comment. Whether you're into the Sislan Church, the inner circle, both or neither, the older wizard states that it's none of his business to ask. While there is little more to learn from the alchemist, he remains ready to buy and sell potions. Travel alert: using the road, you travel southeast, taking 5 minutes to arrive. While the building typically holds several instructors and 1 to 2 dozen trainees as well as the guild master, a quick search reveals that the place is strangely vacant, not a soul is present. The guild was unlocked when you entered, so surely someone must be around. Let's try doing a party intelligence check to see if you can deduce anything regarding the odd vacancy of the guild. Needing a 12 or less from your heroes, a 5 was rolled. Success: as everything is put in its proper place and there is no sign of a struggle anywhere, you deduce that the building's various occupants must be out and about, likely helping the village of Tabin prepare for the arrival of the inner circle representative. A bit disappointed, it appears you have no choice but to leave the guild without visiting with anyone. As you turn to leave, you unexpectedly hear a voice from behind, one that immediately fills you with anger. You're back, you sniveling coward. You never did have the guts to face me. You turn around to find Hyojone standing there, his fists raised and ready to fight. The two of you were always rivals and now he wants to hurt you. What do? Choose an option: argue, fight, walk away. Hyojone was always mocking you or trying to pick a fight, so why not finally give him one, especially with another hero at your side? Your new quest can wait. Time to put the braggart in his place. Both you and Hyojone pounce on one another. Be careful, as Hyojone can definitely hurt you. Good luck. The fight is on. Facing the entire party is Hyojone. It's Rachel's turn. What do you want her to do? Rachel readies her short sword and swings at Hyojone, needing a 10 to hit. Die roll is a 6, +1 to hit. Rachel misses Hyojone. It's Janet's turn. What do you want her to do? Janet readies her mace and swings at Hyojone, needing a 10 to hit. Die roll is a 12, +2 to hit. Janet hits Hyojone, doing 2 points of damage and leaving him with 5 hit points. Hyojone attacks Janet with his short sword, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 6, +2 to hit. Hyojone misses Janet. GM note: a new combat round has begun. Initiative is rolled, with higher values act. Janet readies her mace and swings at Hyojone, needing a 10 to hit. Die roll is a 6, +2 to hit. Janet misses Hyojone. Hyojone attacks Janet with his short sword, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 15, +2 to hit. Hyojone hits Janet, striking her for 5 points of damage and leaving Janet with 1 hit point. It's Rachel's turn. What do you want her to do? GM note: a new combat round has begun. Initiative is rolled, with higher values acting first. Rachel uses a potion of light healing on Janet, healing her for 5 hit points. It's Rachel's turn. What do you want her to do? Rachel readies her short sword and swings at Hyojone, needing a 10 to hit. Die roll is a 7, +1 to hit. Rachel misses Hyojone. It's Janet's turn. Janet readies her mace and swings at Hyojone, needing a 10 to hit. Die roll is a 17, +2 to hit. Janet hits Hyojone, doing 9 points of damage and defeating him. Well done. All combatants have been defeated, ending the battle. Each hero receives 12 experience points. The two of you brawl for a bit, the animosity quite apparent. Fortunately, You soon manage to subdue the bully, knocking him out cold and saving yourself in the process. There is little more to do here at the guild, the place remains quiet and still. Travel alert, using the road, you travel east, taking 5 minutes to arrive. If you're looking to spend a night at the hostel to rest and recover, there is a single room available at the cost of 20 copper pieces. GM note, Janet lost 1 electrum piece. You pay the hostel fee and soon find yourself within a safe and secure chamber. The place is small but more than adequate, and as the entire building is guarded you won't have any trouble here. You can sleep here as long as you wish and otherwise take care of yourself. Once you leave, however, you will have to pay another 20 copper coins to rent another room. Your party rests and recovers for 8 hours. Wounds are tended, spells are memorized and your Travel alert, returning to the alchemist, you take 10 minutes to arrive. While there is little more to learn from the alchemist, he remains ready to buy and sell potions. Travel alert, using the path, you travel northwest, taking 20 minutes to arrive. Reaching the northern fringes of Tabin, you find a simple dirt path leading north. There is the path. Rachel calls and points, leading you toward it. That's where the Sislan clerics come and go to their laboratory in the caves within the forest. It's just a few hours from here, let's go. You can't help but smile from Rachel's apparent enthusiasm, she really wants to reach the Sislan caves beyond. Standing there observing her behavior, let's do an empathy check and see how your character feels about Rachel. Needing a 12 or less from Janet, a 5 was rolled. Success, while you certainly share Rachel's apparent zeal, something does not quite feel right about her. It's as if she seems a little too excited to get started and you begin to wonder if she has some sort of hidden agenda or alternative reason for leading you forward. Something inside you warns you to be a bit cautious with Rachel. Before you leave, let's do a party intelligence check to see if you or Rachel notice anything special there along the path leading north. Needing a 12 or less from your heroes, a 14 was rolled. Failure. GM note, it's dark here. Click the Use Item button to select a source of light. Sorry, but your party does not notice anything more along the trail. The path here continues northwest into the forest and south back to Tabin.